Okay, so have you ever had that feeling? You spend maybe an hour with friends. It was supposed to be fun, but afterwards you just feel completely wiped out.
Yeah, totally depleted.
Or maybe even just thinking about planning another group thing makes you want to hide in the quietest closet you can find.
Uh-huh. If that sounds familiar, then yeah, this deep dive is definitely for you.
We're going to challenge that sort of standard, often very extrovert focused idea of what it means to keep up with friendships.
Right.
Our sources today are looking at strategic friendship maintenance, but specifically tailored for introverts. It's really all about quality over quantity.
And finding systems, energy efficient systems that actually honor your need for some solitude, which is a totally valid need, by the way.
Absolutely. So our mission here isn't just to give you a summary. We want to pull out the science, the real nuts and bolts, and the actual strategies you can use.
The goal is for you to feel genuinely connected, authentically you, without feeling just overwhelmed or like you're constantly performing.
We're moving past the generic advice, right? We want to look at the neurobiology, like why does chatting sometimes feel like running a mental marathon?
Exactly. And then how do you optimize things based on that knowledge?
Okay, let's dive into that science first. Because the really good news here is that maybe your way of handling friendships isn't some kind of flaw. It might actually be, well, an advantage.
It's fascinating, actually. There's solid research, that kind of often cited by places like Harvard Health,
Yeah.
confirming that introverts naturally prefer smaller, closer networks.
Right, deeper connections over time rather than tons of casual acquaintances.
Precisely. And it's not a limitation. It's just a different approach, a
Yeah.
depth-focused style.
And that feeling of being drained, it's actually wired into your brain. It's not you failing at being social.
No, not at all.
This is where that neuroscience nugget comes in. Can you maybe break down that specific part of the brain, the ACC?
Yeah, the anterior cingulate cortex. So the ACC is involved in a lot of complex stuff, monitoring for conflict, detecting errors, making decisions. Now, when an introvert is socializing, especially somewhere stimulating, or where you have to constantly sort of monitor the interaction, like making small talk or meeting new people, the ACC stays in this state of heightened activity.
Uh-huh.
It's processing more input, basically, than an extrovert's brain might be in that exact same situation.
So it's working overtime.
Pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
The source material used a really great analogy. It's like running demanding background apps on your phone.
Ah.
Even if you're, laughing and enjoying the chat on the surface, those background processes are analyzing, monitoring, and it taxes your nervous system the whole time.
Right, so that constant background hum is what drains the battery, even if the conversation itself wasn't bad.
That's the key distinction. That unconscious processing load. It totally justifies feeling like you just did some serious cognitive work.
Yeah, I did.
But here's the crucial bit, the thing that really drives the whole strategy we're talking about.
Yeah.
Introverts who engage strategically, intentionally, on their own terms, they actually report much higher self-esteem and well-being compared to introverts who just isolate completely because they're afraid of that drain.
So the answer isn't hiding away forever.
Definitely not. It's about smart optimization, not avoidance.
Okay, so instead of fighting our nature, we should lean into our superpowers, as the source calls them.
Exactly. You likely already have the strengths for deep connection. You're probably a good listener. You prefer meaningful talk over draining small talk. You're loyal, consistent.
Right.
The strategies we're discussing just help you filter for the right people and deliver that quality connection without burning yourself out.
Okay, this makes sense. Let's shift from the why to the how then. Let's talk about those energy-efficient connection strategies.
Yeah, the practical stuff.
Because we need ways to keep that warmth in a friendship going between the deeper meetups, but without needing, a full-on performance every time.
Right. And this leads to maybe the biggest mindset shift from the sources. Asynchronous communication.
Meaning connection doesn't have to happen in real time.
Exactly. For many introverts, real-time stuff, especially phone calls, can be the absolute most draining because it demands that immediate back and forth.
Okay, so what are we talking about specifically? Things that are, like the source says, less straining than phone calls, but maybe more personal than just a quick text.
Voice messages are a great example. You can record a thoughtful message when you have the energy and focus, and your friend listens and replies when they have the space.
Ah, so it separates the sending and receiving. I like that.
Exactly. And other things work too, like shared digital spaces, sending book or podcast recommendations.
Oh, yeah, I do that.
Or maybe a shared photo album, or even just sharing calendar availability, like, hey, free for coffee sometime next week. It shows you're thinking of them without demanding an instant high-pressure response.
Okay, but wait a second. If I'm always thinking, oh, I should send a voice message or I need to share that article, doesn't that just create this low-level hum of social obligation all the time? Like swapping one big drain for a constant trickle?
That's a really good point, and it highlights why intention is key. Which brings us neatly to the 2-minute rule for maintenance.
Okay, the 2-minute rule, what's that?
It's designed precisely to stop that constant low-level drain by putting a boundary around the effort.
How does it work?
It means making a very quick but genuine connection. Something that signals warmth but takes minimal energy. It's not about starting an open-ended chat.
Gotcha. So like what?
Maybe sending one specific text. Hey, saw this and thought of you because reason. Or liking and leaving a meaningful comment on a social media post, one that shows you actually read it, not just a thumbs up.
Right. Something specific.
Or a quick email with a link to an article you genuinely think they'd find interesting. These little things, used strategically, keep the connection warm between those deeper, scheduled hangouts.
Okay, that makes sense. It prevents a quick check-in from accidentally becoming a half-hour text marathon. You just do the 2 minutes and you're done.
Exactly. You contain the effort.
All right, let's talk about strategic socializing then. The where and the when. Because we know that internal background processing we talked about earlier, it's super sensitive to the environment, right?
Hugely sensitive. Location is critical for managing sensory input. You generally want low stimulation.
So where should you suggest meeting up?
The guide suggests looking for places that are naturally conducive to focused, maybe one-on-one conversation. Think about quiet neighborhood cafes, the ones with, dim lighting, maybe brick walls.
Cozy spots?
Yeah, or those small independent coffee roasters that tend to have a calmer vibe. These places automatically cut down on the energy you spend just navigating noise or crowds.
And then there's the idea of side-by-side connection, which I love. Getting away from that face-to-face pressure.
Yes, using nature is fantastic for this. Going for a walk on a local greenway or through a park.
Why does that work so well?
Well, walking side by side naturally reduces the pressure of constant direct eye contact. Plus, the environment itself provides easy, natural conversation starters. Oh, look at that bird or whatever. It lowers the performance aspect.
That makes total sense. And for things like museums or galleries?
Timing is everything there. Avoid the weekend rush. Try a weekday visit, maybe during lunch, or hit the farmer's market really early before it gets overwhelming. Less sensory overload.
Okay, but what about those times you have to go to a bigger group event, like a party or a work gathering?
Right. Sometimes it's unavoidable. Then the strategy shifts to damage control and preparation.
Damage control, I like it. What are the tactics?
The sources are clear. First, set a time limit. Decide you'll stay for maybe an hour or two max. And crucially, if possible, bring one trusted friend with you.
Ah, the social buffer friend.
Exactly. That familiar person reduces your cognitive load because you're not trying to navigate and monitor, 10 new interactions at once. You have an anchor.
Smart. What else?
Always, always plan your exit strategy before you go. Drive yourself if you can. Have a clear departure time in mind. Maybe even let the host know politely beforehand.
Right.
And absolutely schedule downtime before and after. Non-negotiable buffer time to charge up and then recover. It's essential.
Okay, but here's the tricky part for a lot of people. Telling your friends, especially the really enthusiastic, extroverted ones, about these needs, how do you set boundaries without sounding, rude or like you don't want to see them?
This is tough, but so important for making friendships sustainable. The key insight from the source is explain your style, don't apologize for who you are.
Explain your style. Okay, how?
So instead of just canceling plans at a noisy bar, offer a positive alternative that works for you. Something like, I'd absolutely love to see you. Coffee shops work a bit better for my energy levels than loud bars. Would that quiet place near the bookstore work instead?
Okay, so you're still saying yes to the person, just suggesting a different setting.
Precisely. Or if it's a big party, manage expectations up front. I'm so excited to celebrate with you. Just giving you a heads up, I'll probably need to head out around 9 p.m. to recharge.
And what about the general explanation? If they ask why you prefer quiet or need to leave early?
Frame it positively, focusing on how it helps you be a better friend. The source suggests something powerful like, I just find I recharge best with some quiet time. Honestly, it helps me show up more fully present for the people I really care about, like you.
Ooh, I like that. It makes the boundary about preserving the quality of the relationship, not rejecting the person.
Exactly. It reframes it as maintenance, not avoidance. That's usually much easier for friends with different wiring to understand and respect.
Okay, let's zoom out to the long game now. How do you make this strategic approach sustainable? We need systems, right? Like the Windley maintenance system mentioned in the sources.
Yes, making it a habit is crucial. It apparently starts with a Sunday planning session.
Sunday planning, what does that involve? Sounds intense.
It doesn't have to be. Maybe just 15 minutes. The idea is to be intentional. You look back, how was my energy last week? Which important friendships could use a little tending?
Okay.
Then you schedule maybe one meaningful interaction for the coming week. And critically, you block out that essential, non-negotiable recharge time around any social plans you make. Protect that downtime.
And then there are the daily micro checks to keep things ticking over.
Right. This prevents that feeling of suddenly realizing you haven't spoken to someone in months. It's about a planned, low-effort routine. Maybe Monday, you send one thoughtful text.
Okay.
Wednesday, maybe you share an interesting article or a funny meme, they'd appreciate. Thursday, perhaps send a quick voice message while you're, say, walking to your car.
So it's consistent, but low stakes. It stops friendships from feeling like they're constantly in emergency, must reconnect now mode.
Exactly. It keeps the engine warm. And this whole system is supported by something called the monthly friendship audit.
An audit. That sounds serious.
It's just about assessment, shifting from just letting friendships happen to you to actively managing the energy you invest.
So when you're doing this audit, what are you actually looking for? Beyond just, did I feel tired after seeing them?
Well, the sources suggest focusing on two main things. First, how did you feel after spending time with them compared to the time and energy you put in? Was the emotional return on investment positive?
ROI for friendships, okay. What's the second thing?
This one's maybe even more important. During that interaction, did you feel like you were being your true self, or did you feel like you had to perform?
Perform.
Yeah.
Like trying to match their energy level or faking interest in small talk or constantly editing what you say.
Exactly that. If you consistently feel like you have to put on a performance with someone, that connection might just be fundamentally draining for you, even if you genuinely like the person.
That true self versus performance metric, that's a really insightful way to gauge if a connection is sustainable long term.
It really is. And finally, we need to touch on that crucial decision point. When should you push through fatigue? And when is it absolutely vital to prioritize recharge?
Yeah, that's a tough one. When should you push through?
The advice is
Yeah.
push through if you've made a firm commitment to something really important to a friend, a wedding, a major celebration, or if you recognize deep down that you're avoiding it more out of anxiety or just inertia rather than genuine energy depletion.
Okay. But when is recharge the non-negotiable priority?
You have to prioritize recharge when even simple things feel overwhelming. When you notice yourself getting irritable or when actual physical symptoms show up, headaches, serious fatigue, that brain fog feeling.
Listen to your body, basically.
Absolutely. And part of this is learning your local energy patterns. Know the places and times that are guaranteed high drain zones.
Like maybe avoid the soupy, trendy part of town on a Friday night if you're already low on energy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or that massive street festival on a Saturday afternoon. Instead, optimize for the lower energy, higher intimacy times that suit you better.
Like that quiet Tuesday evening dinner, or the weekday morning coffee, or the Sunday afternoon walk in the park we talked about earlier.
Precisely. It's about making conscious choices.
Wow. Okay, this whole framework really feels like a masterclass in, well, strategic social energy management.
Yeah.
The key takeaways seem pretty clear. It's about quality over quantity, definitely. Communicating your needs kindly but clearly. And using those energy-saving methods like asynchronous chats and picking the right spot to meet.
And remembering this is strategic, it's not antisocial. Research consistently shows that introverts do benefit hugely from connection, sometimes even more than they anticipate. You just need a system that works with your brain's natural wiring.
Not fighting against that background drain all the time.
Right.
So the real goal here is authenticity, isn't it? Building a social life where you can actually be yourself and still get all those positive connection benefits that the big health studies talk about.
Absolutely. It's about sustainable connection. So maybe here's the provocative thought for you to consider this week.
Okay, hit me.
What's one small strategic step you could take just in the next 7 days to start honoring your own energy patterns? Maybe it's trying that 2-minute rule just once. Or maybe it's deliberately scheduling 30 minutes of quiet time after that big work meeting. will drain you.
Just one small thing.
Yeah. Stop measuring your social success by how many parties you go to or how many friends you have on a list. Start measuring it by how recharged and how authentically connected you feel with those maybe 3 to 5 people who really matter to you. What does your ideal sustainable social life actually look like?